Hello, and welcome to the last section of the New Teacher Asynchronous Modeling Our World with Mathematics Summer Institute. What we'd like to do is to give you an opportunity to ask some questions and to reflect on what you've learned so far. In the different sections that you've gone through so far, we've looked at many different ideas. And what we'd like to do now is to invite you to get involved in a discussion board around some of the topics that you might want to talk about some more. So things that are special about modeling our world with mathematics that may be new to you. Or maybe you just want to know more about them. So creating that culture for learning that we highlighted in the Getting Started module. So would you like to talk some more about that? Or to talk some more about how to get the students to be the ones to do the talking rather than you guiding them all the way. And then, of course, modeling is unique in its context-based teaching and learning. So what is it all about to teach from the basis of a context rather than math, 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 and a word problem? How do we start with a context and then pull the mathematics out of it? And how will you assess your students? And I'm not talking about points and grading. I'm talking about how will you know when your students have learned what you wanted them to learn? Um, and as you're going through these conversations, there will be comments and questions from your peers in this New Teacher Institute, but also returning teachers are going to be coming in and sharing some of their experience as well. So you'll be able to ask some questions and the voices of experience will be able to help you out. Continuing on, we looked pretty deeply at health and fitness during this summer institute. But if you have additional questions, specifics that you want to ask, you could ask those in discussions. You took a look at some tech tools. You could ask about those tools, or maybe others have experience that they, particularly during distance learning, explored some other tech tools you could ask about. We had a session about universal design for learning, and maybe you'd like to talk some more about those principles. Or maybe you have some questions about course management details, like how do you get worksheets to kids? Do you do it one page at a time? Do you do it in packets? How do you handle the virtual resources, the digital options, and so forth? So go ahead and jump onto the Moodle and talk about any of these things or start additional conversation threads if you have other questions that these topics don't address. And then once you've done that, we'd like you to take some time to really dive in on some journal entries to reflect on your learning so far. And if you'd like to stop the video now and go be part of those discussions and then come back to this, that's certainly an option. But the first thing we'd really like you to think a lot about is what module within modeling our world with mathematics, a module, a lesson, or even an activity are you most looking forward to teaching? And what is it about that particular thing that really sparked your interest? And to think about what's going to make it really fun to teach. Is it you think it'll be the context itself? Or you think the kids are really going to be engaged in the math that's there, or the routine that you're using, or the development of the lesson. So really think about what appeals to you and why. So another question we have is who takes modeling our world with mathematics at your school and how is it incorporated into the course taking sequence? And if you don't know the answer to that, to those two-part question, then that's certainly something that you're going to want to investigate because you need to know where your students are coming from and where they're going. And so it's important that you understand perhaps the mathematical experience that your students have, what their math background is, and what you're preparing them for in the future. It might be that you'll know the answers to that question better once school starts, but we'd like you to prepare yourself for it as best as possible at this point. All right, you're new to teaching modeling our world with mathematics, but you're probably not new to distance learning. You experienced it last year, and we'd like to know what was your silver lining? What was the thing that you experienced or learned last year about teaching that you want to keep even when you have students in your classroom again? So what is that silver lining that comes from a really tough year? And then finally, what do you think will be your most important next step as you prepare to teach modeling our world with mathematics? You've had some experience with getting started and health and fitness, and we've given you some ideas. You've had a chance to ask questions and maybe to respond in those discussion boards. What are you going to do next? And why will it be really important to launch your year for modeling our world with mathematics? We hope that this Summer Institute has been really helpful for you and that you accomplished whatever goals that you wrote on that name tent on the very first activity that you did. So please reach out anytime throughout the year. I'm Arlene Crum, Director of Mathematics. You can reach me at arlene.crum@k12.wa.us. Have a great year and take care.